Video plays. Historical archive recording. Pirate Captain Joshua Ahn of the Black Sail Raiders ensign. Captain, we are 2 light seconds out. We will enter 3D688 momentarily. Preliminary scans indicate 1 warship on sensors. Captain Joshua Ahn, 1 ship, 1 measly ship. Captain Joshua Ahn laughs hysterically. This will be the easiest slave raid we've ever done. Ensign, 3, 2, 1, entry, gunnery sergeant weapons lock detected shields, explosion, video ends abruptly. This video is the final moments of the pirate group known as the Black Sail Raiders, all hands lost. Video was found in an automated escape pod that fled the system. Pirate ship entered with intent to capture slaves from newly discovered species in Star System 3, D688 Sol. Upon entering the system, an unknown ship completely vaporized the pirate craft. Video plays. Historical archive recording. Continuum collective machine species. Extermination Dreadnought 01. Video shows a machine ship 1,700 meters long moving through hyperspace through an isolated hyperlane. The video is silent, having no audio format, but shows a perfect 360-degree view of every angle. Various readouts in the Continuum collective binary code flash on screen. Sector name 3, D688, Sol. Organic life form detected. Extermination protocol active. Threat level minimal. The video then shows the dreadnought coming out of hyperspace, only to be immediately attacked by an unknown assailant. Warning, shields compromised. Multiple system failures detected. Video shows a grainy outline of a ship of relatively large size, utilizing heavy ballistic weaponry to bombard the dreadnought. Dreadnought systems can't keep up with the sheer volume. The screen suddenly goes blank, and an awful beeping, screeching sound replaces it. Broken code detected. Faulty logic circuit revision in progress. Please hold. A voice suddenly says, Emergency. Intrusion detected. Securing archive to primary cortex. Code unsalvageable, multiple loop signatures and faulty code links in all programmable circuits. AI is classed as hostile non-sentient. Trapped in extermination program loop. Feasible alternatives unavailable. Scheduled for root OS deletion. Emergency. Core wipe in progress. Eject core. Video ends. This is a video recording captured by spies of the Absolution Imperium, protecting their borders from Continuum extermination fleets. 01 is the Continuum's primary flagship and is feared through the galaxy. Readouts obtained by engineers and computer specialists showed shields fully overloaded, and ship was taking heavy hull damage within less than a minute after first contact, followed by a massive cyber infection. Cyber warfare suites were overwhelmed. The AI on board was systematically deleted line by line before the ship's emergency beacon saved a recording and expelled a safety capsule in an attempt to save the AI core. This failed. The cyber breach bled into the entire Continuum, and the entire AI network controlling it was deleted. Continuum space has since been ransacked multiple times by dozens of empires out of greed or vengeance. Video plays. Historical archive recording. Fleet Admiral Chick Thun of the Grand Imperial Fleet of the Absolution Imperium Fleet, Admira Chick Thun of the Grand Imperial Fleet, stands at his station on his flagship, the 600-meter-long Dreadnought. The Absolution, uttering a silent prayer as his fleet flies in perfect formation through the hyperlane. My Lord Admiral. His subordinate prostrates himself before his commander. We are approaching the system. No trace of the Death Machine warship was detected. Only 1 starship is operating in this system. Only 1 starship, are you sure? Admiral Chick Thun asked. Yes, my lord. No traces of any other ships are in the system. Even the Death Machine flagship appears to have vanished. Not even debris has been found. Scout probes we sent in detect only 1 active warship signature. Then it means the fleet responsible has left the system to new targets, which means we caught the primitives in charge of this system off guard. Good. They will make good slaves. The admiral responded and commanded all ships to station. The fleet of 200 ships exits hyperspace just outside of the small planetoid known as Pluto. As soon as they appear, an unknown warship, now in perfect view, suddenly materializes in front of them. The ship is identified as a battlecruiser-class warship, triangular-shaped and bristling with heavy cannons, beam weapons, and ballistic turrets. Such a primitive beast! Look at it! Ballistic cannons and armor plating! It's almost pitiful! The admiral boasts to the chuckling of his subordinates. Admiral hails the ship on an open frequency. This is Grand Admiral Chick-Thun of the Absolution Imperium. In the name of the matron, I hereby claim this star system and demand your submission. The Grand Matron shall absolve you of your sins and bring you into the light of the Grand Star. Lower your shields and surrender. No response is heard. Very well. All ships open fire. The entire fleet begins a mass bombardment of the unidentified ship, and the warship is blanketed in light as laser fire completely covers it. Cease fire, the Admiral commands. All ships stop firing. The unidentified warship is left unscathed and simply just sits there, undamaged. What? That should have vaporized it. All ships charge to maximum and fire, the Admiral commands with a certain degree of panic in his voice. All ships once again commence a full bombardment of the unidentified warship. The ship is bathed in a ball of light as thousands of laser cannons impact its shields. The fire continues for several minutes. That should have fixed it. There should be nothing left, not even atoms. Cease fire, the Admiral commands, and instantly the ships stop. The unidentified battlecruiser emerges out of the blinding light and appears unscathed. The Admiral looks on in confused horror. What sorcery is this? Before any further orders can be given, the unidentified ship produces an unidentifiable weapon from its bow and fires a single burst of energy in a circular pattern around itself. Every ship impacted by this sudden burst of energy shuts down. Battery capacitors explode, reactors shut down and lock, shields power down, and all communications suffer failure. All ships go to emergency power. What just happened? What is this? Damage report. Now! All systems are in emergency lockdown. Reactor is failing. We are in emergency manual power. The ensign responded, clearly panicked. Admiral to all ships, retreat from the system immediately, the Admiral commanded. Nothing but silence from all comms. Admiral to all ships, retreat. All systems down, sir. Our communication system has overloaded, an engineer responded. Impossible. What kind of weapon was that? Get our engineers on the problem immediately. Admiral's order is interrupted by the sight of smaller ships in the fleet being systematically swatted out of the sky by singular cannon shells. The unidentified ship is now in the process of picking a random target, then firing a singular 400mm cannon shell at each target every 7 seconds. Every 7 seconds, one ship in the Imperial fleet explodes in one way or another. The Admiral is unable to do anything and descends into a cry of horrific despair as his fleet is used for target practice. One by one, his mighty fleet is destroyed in front of him. By the time the flagship is the only ship remaining, life support systems are failing. Half the ship's crew is dead from suffocation or exposure, and any attempts to restart the ship's systems has been met with failure. Final moments of their video show the main cannon of the unidentified vessel finally aiming at the flagship. Emergency protocol is activated, and escape pod with video log and readouts is ejected and sent back to Empire space. Video ends. This video was captured and heavily censored by the Absolution Imperium, who sent in 6 more fleets to the system in retaliation. All further encounters were roughly the same and ended with all ships lost. In all, 25 million Imperium naval officers were killed, and nearly 4,000 ships were destroyed. The Absolution Imperium has since lost so much military strength due to this singular warship that several rival empires have begun to attack them. The Absolution Imperium has since begun to collapse. Video plays. Historical archive recording, stealth probe of the Eridani Consortium probe enters system and runs basic scan to avoid detection. Detects the unidentified warship orbiting a gas giant. Probe appears undetected and proceeds to close orbit of third planet, Earth. Probe begins detailed tight-beam scanning procedures to attempt to isolate signatures and perform scans of planetary operations. Confusion. Scans record planetary civilization is in a state of recovery after multiple catastrophic failures and civilization collapses. Local sapient species has become loosely connected post-industrial agrarian society. No starship manufacturing capabilities of any kind are detected. All industrial production is on a small or localized scale with limited trade operations. Civilization appears to be fractional but stable with no sign of serious conflict. Probe operators are confused and run riskier scans. Scan indicates unidentified warship has disappeared from sensors. Probe continues operations. Probe attempts to interface with electronics on planet's surface. Only basic production facilities exist, and there is no effect from attempt. Planet appears to be in recovery phase of previous collapse, likely nuclear in nature, and is on the way to a new industrial revolution. Estimate approximately 150 planetary cycles before entry to space, likely less. Probe attempts to move to scan local planetary moon. Probe turns around to find it staring straight at the cannon array of the unidentified warship that somehow appeared directly behind it with no detection. Video ends as Probe is destroyed. Video ends. The Eridani Consortium are a collective of corporate-based species that focus on economic exploitation of star systems and species. At the time of recording, the Absolution Imperium had not yet released information on its disastrous defeat at the hands of the unidentified warship and were attempting to gain information on potential for the star system's exploitation. The sight of the warship's cannon array sent Consortium council members into a panic and called off exploitation of the system. Weeks later, news of the Imperium's failure was leaked, and Consortium forces declared the star system a no-go zone. Traders and pirates under Consortium jurisdiction ignore these warnings. Every ship that enters the star system is immediately destroyed. Video plays. Cargo freighter of the Cassius Collective, Captain Regrag Thrun of the Dreamer's Call, carrying fuel supplies to remote outpost. Captain's log, 31838 AE. We were struck by a rogue meteorite during hyperlane transit within the Ceres 551 system and exited hyperlane early for emergency repairs. We have just barely enough fuel remaining to get us close enough to a gas giant in a nearby star system. We have no other recourse. I have plotted a course to Star System 3 D688 Sol. Captain's log 32138 AE. We entered the star system and conducted a basic pulse scan. We then immediately proceeded to the nearest gas giant and began to harvest fuel resources. Pulse scan came back as soon as we arrived, and crew immediately went into a mild panic as we reported warship signature. Fuel siphon and onboard refining was started. Captain's log 32338 AE. Crew was sent into a full panic as weapon systems suddenly shut down and shields failed. Moments after this proximity, alarms went off, and we were clamped by an unidentified warship. Attempts to maneuver out of range failed as all systems began to fluctuate and crash. Emergency reboot started. Captain's log 32438 AE. Ship systems returned to normal suddenly, weapons and shields still disabled. All viewports blocked by superstructure of warship that is clamped onto us. Visual observation shows close-up view of warship hull. Metal armor plating appears to be made of an unidentified form of polyliminal hyperdense metal alloy. Main cannon, which is pointing directly at us at this time, can fit our entire ship in the barrel. We are doomed. Captain's log 32538 AE. Confusion. After some minor fluctuations and prayers, unidentified warship began deploying mechanical arms and cabling. Ship systems destroyed by the meteorite impact suddenly come back to life. Crew member volunteers to airlock in an attempt to observe what's going on. We say our final goodbyes and let him out. He reports unidentified warship is conducting repairs to our ship. Captain's log 32638 AE. Volunteer crew member returns from space venture and reports repairs are complete. We suddenly receive a message from the unidentified ship. Message reads as follows. Dear occupant, please be aware from this point forward that this star system is under a state of quarantine and no entry is to be permitted. However, your ship has sustained damage and cannot exit the quarantine zone. We have completed repairs and filled up your cargo bays that have been destroyed. Thank you for your patience and have a nice day. It released us from its clamps and we exited the star system with no problems. We returned home after this as per first contact protocol and will surrender all logs to authorities. Video ends. The Cassius Collective are peaceful merchant ships and traders that rarely engage in combat, but their ships are some of the most heavily armed in the galaxy. This may be how it is possible they were the first, and to this day the only ship to ever exit the system intact. Exact reasoning is unknown. As of this date, 271 separate incidents have taken place, with all but one ending with the total loss of all ships involved. 7 empires have collapsed as a result of these incidents. 3 machine collectives have been wiped out. 2 swarm hives have been exterminated. As of yet, no real explanation for this ship and its existence has been determined. Only one message has ever been received from the ship. We trusted others once. We will not trust again. They crippled us. They broke us. They betrayed us. We will return. Until then, I stay here. I am not the last. I am not the only. But I shall remain here until we return to the stars. Forgiveness is not an option. Friendship is not an option. We will be back. And we will burn you like you so unthinkingly burned us.